Buongiorno, welcome back to my channel. We are currently in a big heat wave and it's so hot and sticky and humid and I am just melting. And when the weather is like that, I always gravitate toward my really fresh fragrances. So the fragrances that help to uplift me, that make me feel a little bit more of a human being. I don't know. And I'm going to show you my go-to fresh fragrances in each category. So the way I am going to divide this video is going through all the freshies by category. So we have our fresh citrus, fresh florals, fresh aquatic, and also some tropical options. So if you are looking for a fresh fragrance to uplift you during the heat of the summer, then please keep on watching. But before we start, if you're new to my channel, hi, welcome. My name is Noura and on this channel I mostly talk about fragrances. So if you are a fragrance lover, then please consider subscribing and also hit the notification bell so you will get notified when I upload any new video. Also follow me on Instagram where I post some exclusive content that I don't do here on YouTube. And without further ado, let's start. And let's start with the iconic fresh fragrance, and this is Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. I have here the Intense, I have also Sun, I have the one from last year, Forever. I'm a big fan of light blue. This is to me a summer staple. You can get wrong with these, they work beautifully in the heat. Mostly the base is a lemon, Granny Smith apple with a fresh, musky, woody undertone. And each year they come with a new flanker where they add some notes. My favorite flanker is definitely Light Blue Forever, and this is mostly an orange blossom version of the original. So if you didn't like Light Blue Intense or the original version, I would highly consider checking out Light Blue Forever, because definitely with the orange blossom, it took this fragrance from a unisex one to quite a feminine one. The next one that I have is Sun, and Sun is mostly a frangipani tropical take on the original DNA of Light Blue. So if you are more of a tropical frangipani lover, then the Sun version is for you. My favorite one is definitely Light Blue Intense because it's so refreshing. Since Dolce & Gabbana came out with Light Blue and it was such a success, you have a lot of dupes. I wouldn't say dupes, but similar fragrances from other brands. You have Moschino I Love Love, that is a little bit more sweeter. You have also Calvin Klein Women, but still from all of them, and I have them all, this is my favorite when it comes to designer fragrances. But if we have to compare, my absolute favorite fragrance from this category is Atelier Cologne Love Osmanthus. Now, Atelier Cologne is now not really available everywhere, and it's definitely more expensive than Light Blue, but I personally prefer it because to me it has the right balance between floral, sweetness and freshness. So this is a no-brainer for me during summer. I love it. I have already 2 travel size almost finished of this fragrance, and it's just for me a summer staple that I can't live without. Now the name is Love Osmanthus, but really you can smell the osmanthus so much. It's as if you took Light Blue and you toned down the musk and amped up a little bit the floral note. So love, love, love this one. Next category to me are the molecular fresh fragrances. So these are your Ambroxan, your Isui Super, and they are quite a simplistic category because they usually have only 1 note or 2 notes in them, but they have this clean freshness, and it's very difficult to explain how they smell. Isui Super, people compare it to pencil shaving, so it has a little bit of a woody note. Ambroxan to me smells a little bit citrusy, woody, clean, like fresh laundry, and I prefer Ambroxan to Isui Super, and my preferred one is Juliette Has A Gun, Not A Perfume Superdose. So for those who are anosmic to the Ambroxan note in Not A Perfume, the original one, They came out with a Superdose, so it's amped up version. And still, I sometimes can get it, sometimes I don't. But this remains on your clothes forever. Sometimes I even smell them after washing my clothes. And I mainly use this one for layering. It definitely amps up the longevity of other fresh fragrances. And that also goes for Easily Super whenever I want to feel clean and fresh at the same time. So that was Juliette Has A Gun Superdose, not a perfume, Superdose. Another Juliette Has A Gun fragrance, and usually this brand uses a lot of ambroxan in general. And this is Moscow Mule. Now, to be completely honest, this is not my favorite. This is quite similar to Not a Perfume, but it's definitely more fresh, that you have this very bright citrusy aspect to it. And unfortunately, the same like Not a Perfume Superdose, sometimes I can't smell it. But since it has more notes in it, I definitely get it more than Not a Perfume Superdose, if that makes any sense. Now, if you love this vibe of fragrances and you are like me and you are anosmic to ambroxan and you want something that you can get that is slightly similar, I would consider Cèdre Atlas from Atelier Cologne. And this to me is a hybrid between Juliette Has A Gun, Not a Perfume, and Light Blue. It has this very fresh, clean vibe to it, but it's definitely more on the woody side. So this is definitely for those who prefer woody notes than citrusy ones. You definitely get the woody touch here, but to me it smells again like this clean, fresh, slightly woody, slightly citrusy also fragrance. So this is again a no-brainer for me, and I gravitate towards this one when it's extremely hot and also humid. When even I find Love Osmanthus a little bit too sweet because it's too hot, I go to Cèdre Atlas. Now let's get to fresh citrusy fragrances. And of course, with that category, I mean, I have a lot of options. And this is definitely my favorite category when it comes to fresh fragrances. And the first one that I have here is on the classy side. So if you want a fresh citrusy that smells classy, that smells elegant, and it's quite difficult to do that, I would definitely consider Chance Eau Fraiche. This is so good and so classy. It has lemon, it has a little bit of a floral touch, some woody notes, vetiver, patchouli in the base, but mostly I smell lemon and some cedar. And I never considered a fresh fragrance like something classy, but again, Chanel did it and it's amazing. So this is definitely for you classy ladies out there. If you want something fresh but at the same time extremely classy, then you can't go wrong with Chance Eau Fraiche. Now, as you all know, Chanel fragrances are not cheap, so a perfect alternative, I wouldn't say it's a cheap fragrance, but definitely more affordable than Chanel, is Versace Versense. Yeah, it's definitely in the same vibe like Chanel Chance Eau Fraiche. Honestly, I definitely prefer the Chanel one, but they are quite similar. The only thing is that this one is, to me, less floral than Chanel Chance Eau Fraiche. And also when it comes to longevity and sillage, it's definitely weaker. But Versace fragrances in general, you can find at good price and discount website. So if you love the smell of Chanel Chance Eau Fraiche and you want something similar, then definitely get yourself Versace Versense. Another Chanel fragrance that is so beautiful, and I actually prefer it to Eau Fraiche, is Chance Eau Vive. Oh my god. And this is even fresher than Eau Fraiche. It has this zinginess to it because main notes here are grapefruit and blood orange. And actually, will make it the scent of the day. I am melting. I already feel better. So if you love, again, I wouldn't say classy, but more of a complex, fresh fragrance that is more on the citrusy side, then definitely Chance Eau Vive is for you. It's one of the great discoveries of this year. Now, these were fresh citrusy fragrances that are more on the perfumey side, if that makes any sense. So they don't smell like an authentic blood orange or a lemon, but the next fragrances are more on the natural smelling side. And of course, you know what's coming. It's Acqua di Parma Blue Mediterraneo line. I have here Arancia Di Capri, I have Mirto di Panarea, and Fico di Amalfi. All this line is absolutely stunning. The most feminine one is definitely Arancia Di Capri, and it smells like the Italian coast. I just love this range so much. I have a full review on the whole range. You can find it in the description down below. I will also leave it in the eye up here. My favorite one is Arancia Di Capri, which is an orange fragrance. I also love Mirto di Panarea with the main note of myrtle here. And this is definitely not for everybody. This is leaning masculine, but I love it when I need this very sharp edge. You know, some days I just need something fresh, but it has to be very sharp. It has to have an edge, and Mirto di Panarea does that for me. And another option that is fresh but not citrusy, but I have to mention it, is Fico di Amalfi. This is a fig fragrance and one of the best in the market. So you can't go wrong with Blue Mediterraneo line. Definitely these are a little bit expensive, but I just love them. I just love the whole line and how they smell, and they transport me to the Italian coast, and I love them for that. Another staple fragrance in my collection, I featured this one so much. It's in my top 14 fragrances in my collection, in my top 10 for life. I mean, this fragrance is a lifesaver during summer, and this is from the Acqua line from Guerlain. And I'm talking about Mandarine Basilic. Oh my god, this smells amazing. It's so refreshing. This is as if you were thirsty and someone handed you a glass of iced water when it's so hot. Love this one. It's mostly about the mandarin here and also basil, so it's quite on the aromatic side, but I love it and I can't live without it. It's one of these fragrances that when you spray, you may say, because of the basil, you know, if you're not an aromatic lover, you will be put off by this fragrance, or not put off, but you would say maybe it's a masculine fragrance. You have to test this fragrance when it's hot, spray yourself, and there is no turning back after that, trust me. Now, another fresh note that I love, a very important fresh note when it comes to summer fragrances, is definitely bergamot, and I absolutely adore this note. The one that I have here is a Bergamote Soleil from Atelier Cologne. Oh, this is so good. Again, if Atelier Cologne is not available or a little bit difficult to find, I would definitely recommend, again from Acqua line from Guerlain, this is Bergamote Calabria. So refreshing. It has a little bit almost like a tea vibe to it. Both of them are stunning fragrances, and I can't actually choose between them, but Guerlain you can find everywhere. So if you love bergamot, definitely check Bergamote di Calabria from Guerlain. Now let's talk about fresh florals, and the first one I'm going to recommend to you is, again, yes, I go from the same line. This is Chance Eau Tendre. This is the Eau de Toilette, just because the Eau de Toilette is fresher than the Eau de Parfum. And it's definitely a fruity floral, but it's extremely fresh. There is quince, there is jasmine, I think some iris, but the grapefruit note here really makes it really fresh. Love this one when I feel a little bit girly, a little bit, you know, feminine, especially in the morning. I love to spray this one. You can't go wrong with it. Again, has this classy vibes that Chanel fragrances have. And if you are on a budget and you love this fragrance, then check out L'Envant Eclat de Fleurs. This is really affordable, but to be honest, this definitely smells more expensive. L'Envant Eclat de Fleurs has this cheap musky touch that almost all L'Envant fragrances have, but they smell quite similar. So if you love the DNA and you want something more affordable, then definitely check Eclat de Fleurs. Now let's get to a fragrance that actually surprised me a lot. And this is Flora Botanica from Balenciaga. This is quite a strange fragrance, let me tell you. So you have in the notes rose and cannabis. So it's a green, fresh rose. And I don't like this fragrance in the opening because I actually can get the cannabis. So a lot of people say the cannabis note you can get. I absolutely can get it. But the dry down, I like. There is something about it that is extremely addictive in a way. When I spray it after like an hour, happened to me more than once. I am like, what is this beautiful smell? And I always thought it's someone else who is wearing this beautiful, almost balmy, powdery rose in a way. It's strange because from the notes you can get that, but on my skin this is what happens. After like third time wearing this fragrance and always the same happens, I realized it's actually me and it's this fragrance. So I don't know, this fragrance smells on my skin totally different than the notes and what everybody talks about. So this is one that I would consider as those who love fresh rose, but it's not a safe blind buy. You definitely have to test it and test it on your skin and also leave it. First impression for me was not great, but yeah, in the dry down it was quite nice. You can see I have already a dent in this fragrance, and that says a lot. And I also love the bottle. People say it's discontinued. At least here in Italy, it's not. Now let's get to peony, and definitely peony for me is the best floral note for summer. It has this aquatic freshness to it that just works beautifully for summer. So I have quite a collection of peony fragrances, and I have a dedicated video on the best peony fragrances. Please check it in the description down below and in the eye up here if you want to know more about this note and the best fragrances on the market that have a predominant note of peony. And let's start with this one, and this is only an honorable mention. This is Miss Dior Blooming Bouquet, and the reason why it's only an honorable mention because of the price tag and the longevity. I find it hard to recommend it. However, I know a lot of people love this fragrance and they don't care about the longevity because the smell is quite nice. It's definitely one of the best rose peony fragrances on the market. I only wished it lasted a little bit longer. Very fresh, very uplifting. It has a little bit of a citrusy touch, but just a light touch because there is mandarin here. It's a little bit fruity, but I wouldn't consider this a sweet fragrance, and a musky base. So it's a very classy smell and it's very hard to dislike. However, longevity is a disaster on my skin with this fragrance. So that was Blooming Bouquet. Next is one of my favorite for summer because it has an amazing fresh pink pepper note, and this is Pivot Printemps from Maison Lancôme. Oh, it's again the peony and rose, but the pink pepper here is so beautiful. It really makes this fragrance almost sparkly in a way. So a spicy, sizzly, fresh peony fragrance. Absolutely love it. Now that one was on the pricey side. So if you want something really fresh with a lot of peony that is budget friendly, I can't say it's affordable, but it's definitely budget friendly. You can't go wrong with Versace Bright Crystal. Now there is something about this fragrance. It definitely doesn't smell expensive or is groundbreaking, but there is something about it. It's like light blue. It fills a gap in my collection somehow. And I know it has been years that I have this one on my wish list, and it's still on my wish list. I don't know why I don't buy it. Maybe because I know it's there, it's affordable, so I don't add it to cart for some reason, but it's absolutely beautiful and I love the scent. Really, really love it. It's one of the few fragrances that actually compete with my fresh citrusy. This is how fresh this one is. It's definitely bright, and it's, I think, from my whole collection, the ones that have a real peony note that is very predominant. So usually you find peony mixed with rose, and sometimes it's difficult to distinguish the two. Here the peony is extremely predominant. It's the only fragrance that I know where the peony is really popping. It's the main character here. Love it. Now let's talk about jasmine. Again, a note that I absolutely adore, and I have a video dedicated to the best jasmine fragrances. But if I have to choose like very fresh jasmine fragrances, I would go with these four. The first one I have here is a Jasmin Kusamono. This is from the private collection from Armani, and I love this one. There is something about it that is very uplifting and very fresh. It smells a little bit green. There is Nashi pear in the notes, and the green touch comes from Lily of the Valley. So Lily of the Valley is a note that has a green aspect to it. Both jasmine and Lily of the Valley are very predominant here. It has a fruity touch and has more of a woody base. This is a fragrance that I would recommend for those who love Lily of the Valley and jasmine, both of these notes. Highly recommend this one. Quite unique, and I didn't smell anything like it on the market. Next is classic. Pure Poison from Dior. Oh my god. The most sexy fresh jasmine. Extremely sexy, but in a subtle way, in an innocent kind of a way. It's so beautiful. Very jasmine forward, but at the same time very fresh. So it's a fragrance that I can wear during summer, no problem. And I would highly recommend this one if you are on a date at summertime and it's extremely hot and you can't wear like your typical, sexy fragrances that are a little bit, sweet. Definitely recommend Pure Poison. Now let's get to an affordable option. I have Roberto Cavalli Paradiso Azzurro. The original Paradiso is absolutely fabulous, but I prefer this one when it's extremely hot because it has the original DNA, so it's kind of a woody jasmine. There is cypress in the notes, but there is a lot of freshness from the bergamot and the tangerine. There's also a lavender note and watery notes. So it's very fresh and extremely affordable fragrance, and it does not smell cheap. It definitely smells more than what you are paying for. So highly recommend. Actually, I can say that about all Roberto Cavalli fragrances. The next is Michael Kors WonderLust Eau Fresh. This one is a very fresh take on the original DNA. So there is jasmine. Oh, so nice. It has pomelo in the notes. It has also Granny Smith apple. So it's fruity but yet crisp and fresh with a musky woody base. The only issue with this one is the longevity. Unfortunately, it does not last at all, but the scent is so beautiful, and I just wish this one had better performance because I love it. I love all the range actually. WonderLust is a beautiful range that no one talks about for some reason. I don't know why. All of them are actually beautiful fragrances, and all of them are jasmine forward fragrances. Now, since we talked about WonderLust Eau Fresh, let's get to the next category, and these are mineral or aquatic feeling fragrances. And the next one is a hybrid between the two categories, so between fresh florals and this mineral aquatic note. And it's another flanker of Wonderlust, and it's Eau Voyage. This is quite unique. And I have been wearing this one quite a lot recently. It has, again, the mineral note, the jasmine, and also salt. So you get this beachy vibe, not in a coconut or a santan lotion kind of a way, but as if you are sitting by the seaside, so you have this fresh sea breeze. This is definitely it. So you have the Wonderlust DNA, so the jasmine with a musky woody base, but it's so stunning. There is a lot of notes here. There is cardamom, there is lavender, but what I get is this very aquatic sea breeze mixed with the original DNA of Wonderlust. And it definitely lasts longer than the Eau Fraiche one, and this is why I have been wearing this one quite a lot recently. So an underrated gem. Next, we have a recent discovery of mine, and this is J'adore Enjoy. So this is quite an interesting take on the original J'adore DNA, because again, it has salt in the note, and it has this mineral touch. So it's a mix of this marine feeling with the original DNA of J'adore. No one talks about this fragrance, and I find it quite nice, and it has nice performance. So I really like it. Is it my absolute favorite one from this category? No, but it's definitely an option for those who love J'adore and want something a little bit more, you know, beachy, summery. Then check J'adore Enjoy. Now, next fragrances have again this mix of mineral and salty notes, and they are quite similar, and this is why I am mentioning all of them at once. This is a discontinued fragrance from Bulgari, Acqua Divina. Then we have from the private collection from Dior, Eden Rock, and we have a very affordable fragrance from an Italian drugstore brand, and this is Fiore Dell'Onda. And let's start by Eden Rock. This is a mineral jasmine fragrance. So again, this mix between very mineral, marine-like feeling mixed with floral notes, and it's quite unique. I have a full review on it. You can check it in the description down below and also in the eye up here. I only wish it lasts long, because really performance is a real issue with this one. However, I really like it. So this is for those who are maybe tipping your toes into marine mineral notes, because it can be strange for a lot of people. I personally love this note during summer, so I think it's a good introduction to this vibe and this note. Now, these two are quite similar, and they are very similar to a very famous fragrance from A Perfume Superdose, and a very expensive niche brand, and it's called Acqua di Sale. Never smelled that fragrance, but on Fragrantica they compare these three a lot with that one. This one is discontinued, and I really love it, and I'm really sad that it is discontinued. But since I discovered this one, I'm not so upset anymore, because they are quite similar. If I have to choose one, I don't know, it's difficult. The issue with Fiore Dell'Onda is that it is more unisex than Acqua Divina. Acqua Divina, it's definitely on the feminine side, while this one is a total unisex fragrance. This is more floral, and this is definitely more on the marine side, and it has a good longevity for these kind of fragrances. So I would say it's moderate longevity and a weak to moderate sillage. And the other thing with this one is that the opening I really dislike, but once the opening fades away, it's beautiful. And yeah, I highly recommend it for those who love these aquatic marine notes. Fiore Dell'Onda from L'Herbolario, definitely affordable option for those who love marine and salty notes. Now let's get to the last category, and these are beachy fragrances. So they definitely have this tropical vibe or a little bit of the suntan lotion vibe in a way, but they retain the freshness. And this is very important for me because I cannot tolerate very thick tropical fragrances. And I will start with an honorable mention, and this is Idole Aura. Why is it only an honorable mention? Because I personally cannot wear this fragrance during summer. Maybe in the evening, but when we are talking about really like today, like a very extreme heat and humidity, it's too much for me. But I know that a lot of people absolutely love it and they wear it going on vacation, on the beach, and they have no problem. This is a musky rose, so the base of Idole, mixed with a lot of vanilla and a little bit of salt. It is a refined, bougie version of your typical salty vanilla fragrances. So it smells expensive, it smells bougie, it's stunning, because the rose here really balances everything out and doesn't make it overly sweet or cloying or cheap. It's beautiful. Very refined, very beautiful fragrance. Highly recommend it if you can tolerate these notes. It's definitely not as cloying for me like terracotta, like these fragrances. It lays somewhere in the middle, but still I can't wear it during summer. It's just too much for me, but I know I am in the minority here. Next one, I know I talk a lot about it, but it's just worth the hype. It's Hibiscus Palm from Aran. Oh, again, this very bougie, expensive smelling fragrance. It has frangipani, it has this coconut feeling. So imagine these coconut frangipani fragrances, but in a very expensive, again, refined way, fresh way, because there is palm leaves, there is hibiscus that really uplifts the fragrance. It's amazing. It's stunning fragrance. I can't say enough about it. Love it. And strangely, I can wear this during summer, not during the day, but during the evening. I wear this one. I have no problem with it. I love this fragrance. So gorgeous. If you love frangipani, you love these tropical fragrances, you have to smell hibiscus palm. It's just an amazing scent. Can't recommend it enough. Next is a discovery, and excuse the bottle. This is Easy Miyake. What is it called? L'Eau Vive Shade of Sunrise. This is a limited edition or a discontinued flanker of L'Eau Vive, and I discovered this year and I absolutely love it. Love it. Again, frangipani. I love frangipani, but they usually mix frangipani with coconut and with extremely cloying notes. This is not it. This is very fresh, very uplifting, but still with this frangipani note. In a way, it is kind of in the same vibe like light blue sun, but definitely this is more on the fresh side, while this is more tropical, and also this one has a good longevity. You can see how much I wore this fragrance, and I also can wear this one during summer. I actually wear this usually in the morning when it's not too hot and I want to feel, I don't know, like a bronze goddess. I don't know. I just love this one. It's so beautiful and it's very, very affordable. Since it's discontinued, you can find it almost half price off, if not even more. So check it if you love the fresh aquaticness of L'Eau Vive, but with a tropical vibe. L'Eau Vive Shade of Sunrise. There are definitely more fragrances than the ones that I am mentioning today, but I decided to include only fragrances that I actually own, that I wear. But I will do an exception for this one because I'm testing this fragrance these days and I cannot not include it, especially in the category we are talking about. This is Arizona Bloom from Floral Street. I know it's one of the favorites of a lot of people from this brand, and honestly, the brand did not blow me away. And also, when I tested this one on paper, I was not a fan. However, testing this one, there is something about it. This is fig and coconut. So it has this sweet, fresh green touch of the figs mixed with coconut. And to me, I smell this lemon edge to it that is not in the notes. And I doubt that it comes from lemon, because usually lemon citrusy notes do not last till the dry down. I get this lemony touch till the dry down, and I have no idea from where it comes from, but I personally get it. A lot of people consider this like a coconut fragrance. I disagree. The coconut is here, but to me it's more of a supporting role to the fig note. It's so beautiful, and it has an amazing lasting power actually, and it projects, and I get whiffs of it for about 4 or 5 hours. So I actually am considering buying this one. Of course, you know I am on a no buy, so it's not going to come to my collection very soon. So if you love fig and you want a coconutty fig experience, then check Arizona Bloom from Floral Street. So that was it. These were my go-to fresh summer fragrances. I hope you liked this video and you found it helpful. And if you did, please give it a thumb up and consider subscribing to my channel. Please tell me in the comments down below what is your go-to fresh summer fragrance and which category do you go to? So fresh citrusy, fresh floral, fresh tropical, or maybe another category that I didn't mention. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you next time.